Andrea, I have to say that the June movies were either brilliant or terrible. And I think you may be surprised in which way I'm going.
No, no, Eric, we have to agree on the brilliant and terrible. I hope.
I think you may be a little surprised.
Oh, Eric, boo.
So before we hop into discussing the June movies, we have to talk about July and what's going on. Did Hallmark just give up on Christmas in July and say, whatever, we'll just re-air and not even attempt some new programming? It's like taking the May and
That's what
amping
they've been
it.
doing all year. Like, I guess I'm not shocked by this because this is basically their strategy the entire year.
They still had some, like two new movies in May and then the rerun, so they at least did a sprinkle.
They haven't done anything with mysteries. Like, they're obviously trying to save money. So it is what it is. I'm not watching them. I didn't watch them on Hallmark Plus. I'm not going to watch them. So we don't have to do a review for July. So that's kind of a win.
Well, there is the Christmas at Sea. Now, the
I'm not going to
reality,
watch that either.
really, I'll say the
No.
real after, being on the little podcast group with that Q&A thing, kind of got me a little interested in it. And I will say, I think Hallmark is doing, well, I'll say it's a hit or miss with the reality shows. So it could be good. I think the celebrations type ones and those ones not really connecting with it. I tried watching actually yesterday the Home is Where the Heart Is, and I just that's the Luke McFarlane
Oh, yep,
Woodward.
yep.
I just couldn't quite get into it,
Yeah.
and I like those shows typically, so I don't know. But
Yeah, I'll
that's
let you watch it and you can report back because I did the small town one with Ashley Williams. I liked that.
I
And
watched
I
like three episodes of that,
think
and
that
then
was about it. I'm just not super into the reality TV. And again, it's cheaper to make. And so I can understand why they're doing it. And I'm sure they are just going to use film that they already did when they were at sea.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
So
they had it like a plan. It sounded like, but
not
yeah,
super.
right. It's significantly cheaper than they were doing the cruise anyhow. So
Yeah. Yeah. Why not make content out of it? Totally understand. So yeah, not for me. I do want to mention because I have been watching some other like non-Hallmark shows on Netflix. Have you seen Ransom Canyon?
I haven't even heard of Ransom Canyon.
That's with oh gosh, he's from Josh, is it Josh Duhamel? He's from Minnesota and
Oh,
Minka Kelly from Friday Night
yeah,
Lights.
right.
So they're the main leads. And I think if you're into, more of the drama on Hallmark and a little bit of the mystery element, I think this will be up your alley. It's a little bit more well done than Ride. So it's got the cowboy theme. They're out in Montana, but it definitely has some much more deeper drama and like it's a darker show. It's one that I can watch an episode of and then I have to like kind of cleanse the palate. I need a little break because it's an intense show. The other one I was watching was Sirens. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
And that one for me, I'm almost done with it. I like the rich people element with the house and seeing all this fancy stuff, but I'm kind of like you, what you said last week, where you're like, I don't know if I like this or not. That's kind of how I am with this show. So
Yeah. That's
maybe watch it, maybe not. Like this could be one where if you want something fluffy to cleanse the palate after Ransom Canyon, right now it's that way. Did
yeah,
you watch it all?
I did, and that's exactly a great way to describe it.
Okay.
I can't say it was good, I can't say it was bad, but if you're just looking for, hey, I need to spend, some time, it's middle summer and binge something, I'm not getting any Hallmark programs. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
then
going
the
to go on a
last,
limb and say, hey, this is great or
yeah.
anything.
The last one I watched, which we were just out of town and I put it on at night. I didn't expect to like it because I heard it kind of had bad reviews, but it's coming back for a second season, the Four Seasons. Have you seen
Oh,
that one with
yes.
Steve Carell and Tina Fey? But
Yes.
that one, I was not, I actually binged it really quick because it's nice 30-minute episodes, which right up my alley. But that's a darker side as well. So I feel like it's more intense than a normal Hallmark movie. So if you're looking for something cozy, happy, that's not gonna nail it for you. And I know it had one that maybe aired what in the 60s, 70s.
Right, 70s with Alan Alda,
Yeah.
which
And so
was it
people
was a
liked
movie.
that
It was a
better.
movie.
Okay. But I personally, I enjoyed it. It felt very middle life. This could be some actual, like you could see this happening. So,
So what's interesting you say that is my college roommate told me, he's like, you've got to watch this. This is the best thing.
oh,
He's
interesting.
sold on it. And I watched it and I'm like, I kind of like a little escapism. I don't want to
Yep.
see like
Real
things like
life.
the worst part of people's relationships and everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was. And I can handle it for a little bit, but when it's a series and you get like episode after episode after episode, I'm watching Ginny and Georgia right now, and that's the same thing.
Oh yeah,
I
I love
just,
it. I
I'm
love
like,
that
I
show.
just told my
So
wife this morning, like, if I don't, like, you can start watching episodes and I'll pop in, pop out. I just,
that'll be
I don't
great
find
then.
anyone likable. I need someone likable.
If people are listening and they're like, okay, I like a little real life drama. So Ginny and Georgia, love that show. I thought season 3 was
Real
great.
life, real life.
And like you like a more Hallmark, give me everything nice and pretty
I
bows,
can
everything
handle,
sunshine and rainbows.
it's
I
not true.
prefer more grit.
I can handle that. I just want to
I
have
feel like of the two of
somebody,
us, I'm the more grittier. Eric
I
is more
just
the
want
fluffy
someone to be
puppies.
likable and to be have redeeming qualities. And I find no one on that show other than Cynthia so far. I'm halfway through. She was the
Are
mean
you
PTA
on?
mom,
I
season
know,
2.
but okay. I was like, what season are you on? Okay. Well, okay.
So
That's a hot take.
I know that's what I said. I said to my
Okay.
wife, I'm like, the mean PTA mom is the
I
only
know.
one
I was
I'm
like, all
finding
right.
likable.
Okay. Well,
Well, speaking of
now
hot takes,
I want to first because we talked about what we're going to be reviewing because people had questions about what diagnosis murder episodes, so just so you guys can get a head start. So I put it on Instagram, but I know not everyone has obviously Instagram. So
get your
here
paper
are
and pencil out and start writing.
yes, here are the episodes. Season 1, episode 11, Flash Dance with Death. So that one has Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell. So I think that one will be kind of
She went to my
a
high school.
treat. Oh, that really?
Yep.
That's fun. And Dick Van Dyke dances in this one. So
He did not
great.
go to my high school.
Next one, season 2, episode 11, Death by Extermination. This one has
It
Betty
has a
White.
good name. I
Betty
like it.
White's in it. So
Okay.
again, classic. Love it. Season 3, and she plays Dick Van Dyke's sister. So really good. Season 3, episode 17, F Murder. I really love this episode. I think you're gonna like this one. This one is one of my favorite episodes in the series. It's really fun.
F murder.
And you'll
Like,
find out why.
okay, because it's got a very saucy
Yeah.
title.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say this is a saucy-ish series in some capacities. Season 4, episode 18. So yeah, the Murder Country Style. I already recommended that one and people liked it. So I think that will be a good. It's a fun CMA one. I think that was the season I really struggled. Season 4. If you're gonna go in binge, amazing season. I struggled to pick out which episode I
Uh,
wanted to do.
did I do something that upset you that you're making me watch country music?
I think you're gonna like it. I think you'll like the mystery too. Then we have season 5, episode 5, Slam Dunk Dead.
I wonder
So we
why.
have, I know, right? We have basketball in it, and then we have Jesse, the new doctor who replaces, is it Scott Baio? I think. So he leaves the series, and then
Wait,
Jesse
Scott
comes in.
Baio's in Diagnosis Murder?
Yes,
I didn't know Scott Baio did anything after Happy Days, or Joni Loves Chachi or whatever it was. No, Charles in
yes.
Charge. There we go,
So
Charles in
he's in
Charge.
this one, but then Jesse comes in and replaces him in season 5. So I thought this would be a good episode because he's featured in this one to kind of introduce him to it. Plus, we have basketball. Season 6, episode 5, Blood Will Out. This might be a weaker season. I struggled to find one for this one. So it's more hospital setting. That's my main reason. Season 7, episode 11, Santa Claude. So this one is our Christmas feel. So if we
A
want a
little
Christmas in
Christmas in July.
July,
There we go.
this is it. And then the last season, season 8, episode 7, Hot House. This one has Dick Van Dyke's grandson in it. And so I thought this would be kind of a fun one. I wanted to maybe go to
And
the
is he
last.
like 45 or something?
No, he was like in his 20s during
Because Dick
this.
Van Dyke's not a young gentleman.
Well,
Well,
no,
I guess
but
this was done back in the 80s, right?
in the 90s.
90s? Okay.
So, yeah. So it works. So I thought that would be kind of a fun one because he has some of his family members in this one. So those are the 8 episodes.
Interesting, we're not doing the pilot episode.
Again, remember, I didn't like it. I don't think it has a
Okay.
strong pilot. So I think this would be a better option to
Okay.
do the Flash. It takes a few episodes to get its legs. So
I'm down for the F murder one. So
it's 2 radio host shows. It's a really great murder, like the actual mystery of it. That's probably love it. Love that episode. All right, well, let's dive in now to the passport to love. So First movie was To Barcelona with Love. Erica, an American translator, secretly revises a novel set in Barcelona. Everything is fine until bookstore owner Nico invites the credited author Anna to the city for a book signing. And this again starred Alison Sweeney and Ashley Williams. So for me, 4 out of 5 stars. The duo we didn't know we needed in Alison and Ashley. I thought this was a breath of fresh air after the duds that we had basically all year. So I was very impressed that this movie kind of pulled things together. I thought this was a good movie to add a second movie to because sometimes we're like, do we need a second movie? But I think that the way that they built this first movie, it did lend itself to a second movie. I enjoyed Anna and her quirky energy, which was Ashley Williams' character. I know some people did not like that. Personally, like I'm a high energy person. I guess I could be called quirky, and I'm in my 40s. And so, like for me, seeing that, like there are people out there in the world with that quirky energy. And so it's not over the top. I know a lot of people who are who are like that. So I enjoyed that and seeing it on screen. And I think she balanced Alison Sweeney's more grounding energy. She's always a more grounded kind of like comedy. I don't necessarily see Alison Sweeney and comedy going hand in hand, but Ashley Williams brings
Eh,
that.
Okay.
You do?
I think she does a really good job of comedy in Hannah Swenson's. Like she's not a, I would say, slapstick, keep it going,
No.
but she can deliver a good zing. So
Okay. Okay. Well, what did you think?
I did not mind Ashley Williams' quirkiness. Like I myself am not quirky at all, so I have a hard time relating to quirky people because I'm just so mellow and chill. But
Great.
no, but I just found her at times, getting back to what we were talking about a little earlier, kind of unlikable and privileged coming across there. I didn't mind the quirk. I didn't like when she went in the other one. But I said it last week and I'll say it again. This was Alison Sweeney's month. She was spectacular in this. I thought that Erica character she did, I just loved it. I thought they did a great job. And I think as I went back and watched again, I think it was her that made me like this movie so much. So I'll give it the four with you as well. But I want to let you know, I was watching it and I kept saying, wait a minute, I've seen this, I've seen this, I've seen this. There's a movie on Prime called Book of Love. And it's basically this British writer writes this terrible book that sells three copies, one to himself, one to his agent, and like one to his mom or something. Yet it's a total bestseller in Mexico. And so like we're sending you to Mexico to promote it. And it turns out that this woman who whatever did the translation turned it into like a steamy romance kind of thing. And so he gets there and he has no idea why, but it's all like this. So it's essentially the
Interesting.
same premise.
How old is that movie?
Couple years old. It's
Okay.
relatively new. It's like 2020s, somewhere
Okay.
around there, like maybe 2021, 22. So I think this was done a little bit better. It wasn't a great movie. It definitely had some cute things, but it was like I just kept going, I've seen this, I've seen this. So um I'll say Javier, I didn't quite like that whole relationship, how he was into Anna the whole movie. Then all of a sudden he just flips the switch like, oh, well, wait a minute. You like me? Okay. I'll just
I
go
didn't like
that
that either.
direction. I found that like, I don't know, kind of disrespectful to Erica. Like,
Yes. I'm like, do not pick him. He clearly does not like
yes, he's like,
that's
oh,
not okay.
she doesn't like me, but you do? Okay, I will
Yeah.
go for you.
Yeah. I agree with you
And
there.
so, I don't know. Like I said, I just found it Alison Sweeney's movie, and she was spectacular, and that tainted me for. Plus, with beautiful scenery, obviously going around the whole thing. So, in that aspect, I thought it was perfectly enjoyable. As the month progressed, I think I liked it a little bit less.
Well, here's what the poll said. I did do my polls. I forgot to poll the last few months. So 5 out of 5, 26%. 4 out of 5, 51%. Three or slash Three out of five, 21%, and a one or a two, just 2%. And I did this poll recently. And so this is very like up to date. People have watched it and have time to watch others. And so I do think this is, sometimes when you reflect back, you're like, oh, maybe that wasn't as good. So it'll be interesting to see To Barcelona Forever. They're
Okay.
similar-ish ratings, but there is one that's slightly better. So
We sort of agreed at the end, but kind of got to their different
differently.
ways of what we liked about the movie.
Well, next one was To Barcelona Forever. As Anna travels back to Barcelona, reuniting with Erica to celebrate her engagement to Nico, she meets a charming farmer and accidentally finds herself engaged to save his family's legacy. This again starred Ashley Williams and Alison Sweeney. So I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I actually preferred the first movie. I enjoyed Anna, but I didn't think that the movie was paced as well, and so it was a little slow at times for me. The relationship, like the between Anna and that farmer, felt a little rushed sometimes. I did enjoy learning how saffron was made, though. That was actually kind of really fun, and you can see why it's so expensive. Because I'm like, oh wow, I didn't. I That's a lot of work to actually get
We'll
the
get
saffron.
robots to do it.
Yeah, I suppose. But shoot, I really enjoyed when all four couples were on screen. I think that was the highlight, but I did not like the classic Hallmark fight at the end where all the misunderstandings and the family is fighting, the couples are fighting, everyone's fighting, and then everyone makes up like the next scene. So it's just, sometimes those drive me nuts. And that was one where it was just too many, like literally every single person was mad at every single person in all dynamics. And that does not heal that quickly, those type of intense fights. So that kind of took the movie down a little bit for me. Still enjoyed it, but preferred the first one. What about you?
Too.
Whoa, wow, I did not expect that.
I thought
Wow,
it had some good redeeming qualities in it, but as far as a movie goes, it was not 124 minutes of good for me. There was a scene here that I liked, a scene there that I liked, and then a lot of scenes where I pretty much could have got up and went and made dinner and come back and not
totally.
been upset with it. I really, really, really liked though how they still had Erica and Javier be in this movie. So many times when they do these movies that are the series,
Okay.
like you just don't see the characters again, right? And boom. But they really were part of it. I thought that was great. I will still say, like you're saying at the end, the fights, Alison, I thought her character was great. The way that she made up with Ashley Williams, who's her fight getting mad at Ashley or Allison over that was so bad and whatever. But Allison, the way she went out and kind of apologized, but not really, there. And then when she went to Javier and just she sat a little bit away, then scooted a little closer, a little closer. I thought that was adorable. I will say though, no, I'll hit this later when we get into something. There's something that was just off for me, but it comes in later when we do our best. And then the big premise is Hidden Village in 2025. Like, really? I just didn't, I found that a silly, silly, silly premise. One of the things I did like though is Ashley Williams, when she eats, she eats. She does not movie eat. Usually you'll see someone who like pretend to there. When she went into that first restaurant, she's like going food falling out of her mouth. So I thought that was great. And like I said, I like Ashley Williams a lot. I just didn't think they gave her a great character. And then at the end, I had the fight in there was just bad. Um, and then especially because Erica was supporting her all the time, and for Anna just to switch on her so bad, I'm like, what kind of friend are you? But you like Ginny and Georgia, so it makes sense. But the last thing I'll say is, so the wedding, like, hey, let's decide to do a wedding. Where the heck did she get her wedding dress that fit perfectly and looked fantastic on her? And they get a tux and everything like that in a matter of a half hour. So whatever, it's Hallmark World, we let it go. But like I say, there were little bits and pieces I liked. Did not enjoy the movie as a whole.
Well, fan corner. So results. This one was 32% 5 out of 5.
That's
So a little
higher,
bit,
right?
yep, a little bit higher. 4 out of 5 was lower at 38%. 3 out of 5 was higher at 25%. And 1/2 was higher at 5%. So we had more people who loved it, but then you also had more who overall thought it was more of the middle to lower half. So yeah, that was interesting. Now this next movie, Villa
Oh,
Amore.
I'm hoping you will talk to me again after we finish our review.
Well, I already know the fan corner. Like this is
No, I hope you'll talk to me because I know you liked it.
well, I don't take things personal. People don't like it. Plus, I already see the voting. You are going to be on an island because the voting is one of the highest 5 out of 5 I think I've ever seen. And I mean, this was like 150 people voting. So this is a good chunk of people. So you're going to be on an island. That's fine. So I don't know how to pronounce her name again. Liera
Yeah.
goes to Italy and impulsively buys the villa where her parents meet. She soon learns she is in the way in way overhead. This is from Hallmark. And must ask a lawyer turned handyman to help her renovate. This stars Eloise Mumford and Kevin McGarry. So 5 out of 5, loved it. Favorite of the year. If you saw Netflix, La Dolce Villa, I thought this one was actually better than the Netflix one. I would watch it again and again. I actually wanted to watch it again right after I saw it. The romance, the supporting cast, the ladder scene, the pregnant neighbor. I enjoyed all of the side scenes, like the side people that they introduced. I thought they all had purpose. I really liked the village. It made me want to go buy a €1 villa myself and renovate it. I don't know how to do any renovations, but especially after watching The Castle Impossible as well, I just want to renovate something apparently. So again, I have no skills to renovate. So let me just back that up that there would be a disaster. But that little village made me want to go. I thought, I mean, I'll share more about this later, but I thought everything was spectacular about this movie. So as did many others. Now take us down, Eric.
I hate to say this, but 5 out of 5. This movie was
What,
freaking
Eric, are you
amazing.
kidding me?
It was amazing movie, and the funny thing about this is I was watching it thinking about you and how you have like slow movies are your kiss of death.
Yeah.
This is how you do a slow movie.
Yeah,
It
it's
just was beautifully played out. And the director, Claire, slaughter her name, Niederperm, she did American in Austin, her pen pal, The Royal We, Savoring Paris. She knows how to direct. Those are all great movies and everything like that. Eloise Mumford, she's essentially like the
she's so
female
good.
Evan Roderick, I decided. She just doesn't do bad movies. Like everything she's in, Sweeter Than Chocolate, Presence of Love, The Baker's Son,
She's really
loved
good.
all of those movies.
Yeah.
It's just so good. The wardrobe in this, I loved how they dressed her and everything in it. Kevin McGarry for me is a total hit or miss kind of actor. Sometimes, he was fantastic. I thought his character was just great, and I don't know if this was a little nod to all the hate from the wedding veil and his Boston accent, but they made him come from Boston. With he didn't have a Boston accent, obviously, in this, but he was just. This is like Kevin McGarry at his best. There was no forced conflict at the end. It was just sort
Oh,
of
I loved how they handled that.
let's hey, when they had the thing of like, hey, I'm leaving, it's like let's just live in the moment for now and let's just
Well,
enjoy this.
even when the ex came back, usually
Right.
Hallmark blunders that. And I was thinking, oh gosh, now we're gonna have some dumb
Yeah.
conflict. And I'm like, oh wow. Like
It,
she's like, I got this. And he totally was like, okay. And no
yes.
stupid conflict. I'm like, this was great. Like, this is grown up
100%.
Hallmark.
100%. And it wasn't the let's be best friends. She's pretty much
Yeah.
like, no, you boom, I moved on from you. You're
Yes.
gone. So 100% agree. And then the romance in it, you got like early kiss, but they like kind of dated. We never see like dating and an actual relationship naturally develop because it
Progress.
was for a
Yeah.
couple months, right? And
Yeah.
so you really got to see it, the hand holding, just sitting next to each other, head on shoulder. It was so cute. And then it flashes forward to the whole thing. So this is how to do a movie. So, so, so good. The only thing I had, I've got to go is, does she come from a trust fund or something? Because she never asked for the price of anything. And fixing up a villa, even if you buy it for €1, it's got to be an expensive
It
thing.
is expensive. After watching The
And
Castle Impossible, it's very
she's
expensive.
just like spending money left and right. So I don't know. And the other thing I loved about the movie is it's definitely new Hallmark because there was a scene when she's there and she's just drinking her wine straight from the bottle. Whereas you go old Hallmark, it's like, oh, you'll have your thing and it's like sort of a toast, but not a guzzle. I'm like bummed out and I'm just going to pound my wine. And then when the little thing with her asking Kevin McGarry to come back the next day, he's like, no, it's Sunday. It's like, oh, you got to go to church. And they made a church joke for God's sakes. Like, no, football. We got to go watch football. You're like that you would never have seen in old Hallmark. So I loved it. And the last thing I will just touch on is, especially with me, getting older and everything. And I had this conversation with my wife, and we're talking about traveling and the things we're getting just as we're getting older. It's like that, running out of time aspect. When you're young, you don't really think about it. It's forever time. So you get older, you do that. And so that's why my wife and I are like, we've got to go to these trips that we've talked about doing because you just never know. For her, for example, she had someone she knows who went ahead, been working really hard, doing everything, is right about to retire, and a couple months before finds out she has ALS, which just like all the things you work for now, you know, you're not going to be able to achieve in the same way. So I loved that underlying message. So yes, movie, 5 out of 5. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic. Watch it again, then watch it a third time.
Well, great tease, Eric. Thinking you're gonna hate it. Jeez. Well, fan corner, 5 out of 5. Again, one of the highest 5 out of 5 I've seen. 80%. That's huge. And then 16% was four out
Wait,
of 5.
80 was 5?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
was like drinking tea when you said that
Mm-hmm.
and I almost spit it up.
See,
Wow.
another spit take. Three out of
Wow.
five was just 5%. And then 1/2, 0%. So people really enjoyed this one. So again, 96% was a 4 or 5. That's huge. So again, people loved it, especially after I think the stinker of a year we've got, which kind of rolls into this next movie, a Machu Picchu proposal. Katie, Rihanna Fish, agrees to join her brother Dan and his girlfriend Luciana, on a trip to Peru. Dan plans to propose to Luciana in a grand way at Machu Picchu at the end of the week and needs Katie's Spanish speaking skills to ask Luciana's Peruvian father for his blessing. And then I cut it off from there. So that is, I mean, this had a long description on the Hallmark website where the other ones didn't. I don't know why. Maybe I know why.
Because
This
usually when
one,
usually what's the thing? When it's a
the
long
long description, not
description.
a good movie. It's also a Johnson production. So for me, this is 2 out of 5. I finished it this morning. Oh my gosh. It's never a good sign when you look at how much time is left and you're like, I'm only like 25 minutes into this movie. Oh my gosh, when is this going to end? The funny, I'm going to put them in quotations, moments fell so flat. I thought they were corny and dumb. And I love corny, but these were just stupid jokes that they tried to make work. The adventures, maybe they were fun, question mark, kind of. I don't know. Like that, if I'm going to be like, what did I get interested in? Because even those weren't done well in an interesting way. I'm like, you could have made this so much more fun. We had a lot of B-roll, a lot of just kind of like bebopping around. I felt like, let's walk down a hallway. No, I don't want to see a hallway of where they live. I want to see Peru. So for me, you could tell it was a Johnson production. The acting, I think it was fine. It wasn't great in my opinion by anyone. And so it was not my favorite. This fell into where most of the movies fell for me this year. Not very good. So I would not watch this one again. What about you?
I do have a disagreement with you here.
Oh no, you're going to say
But
something inappropriate.
no, I will say this movie was just a bunch of scenes that just didn't have any flow or necessarily make sense that were
No.
stuck together. And I was watching it. I don't really know exactly what was going on in the stories and things like that. Like I say, it literally looked like they just shot a whole bunch of stuff and just said, "Hey, put
This
an
is a
edit in
movie.
every 7 minutes and then cut out the next seven and then put it." I just it didn't make sense. The editing in this movie and the story, like there was no storytelling. I just
No.
was so confused. I couldn't tell where they were going or what was going on and everything like that. So I agree with you 100% there. But I thought both leads, despite having this, I don't know what it was, movie, I thought they were both extremely likable. I enjoyed them. They were the only bright spot really in this movie. I thought they shined despite everything around them. And I was enjoying seeing those two. I, now their relationship too, it just seemed like they were sort of I never quite understood. There was no development of that relationship. They was like he was just a stranger who all of a sudden now they're on. I don't even know. I literally don't know what I was watching. So there, and then like I say, with the relationship and the romance, as I said, we watched the previous one where they built it and we felt it, and it was all great. This one just seemed like, hey, you're really good looking. You're really good looking. We should be together, obviously, because that is the only connection those two had.
Food.
And like I said,
Food,
whatever.
Eric.
Moving on. The movie, getting back to the editing, it like literally just ended. I was like, wait, is it over? I was shocked that it was over. It just damn, boom, go to dark. But what it did though is it saved us from I love you too. So at least we didn't get that. That would have just I may not have been able to record today because I would have been in some sort of intensive care with that. Now I feel bad because do you know who wrote this?
Mm-mm.
Juliana Wimbles, who is Lisa on Hannah Swenson.
Oh wow. So
You
like
know the baker
the baker
assistant?
assistant.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She's written a couple of movies. I think she writes like a lot of the Johnson ones and stuff. But I don't even know if it was. I'm not going to knock her for her script because I'll say she probably had some sort of script, and then they went to edit it. They just didn't say let's tell a story. They just said let's put in a bunch of scenes around Peru and get to the end of 124 minutes. And then I think they're in editing and they're like, oh, hey Bob, you're at 124 minutes. Oh, edit done. Send it in. All right. That's all I have to say.
Well, now
I
my
didn't even give it a
poll.
number, by the way. I don't even want to give it a number.
Well, what would you give it
I,
before I
I,
read
I,
my poll?
I don't want to give it a
A
number.
one?
I don't want to give a movie a one. So
Okay. Eric gives it a one. I will give it for
I
him.
abstain from rating.
Eric says it's a one then because he already gave a movie a two. So this is lower than a two. So it's a one for you.
Oh,
So
wait. You think? Go ahead.
it's a one. So 5 out of 5, 0%. 4 out of 5,
Zero,
38%.
zero, zero.
3 out of 5, 54%. And then a one or a two is at 8%. And again, this is very only 4 hours into the poll. So I will update that once it's been up live a little bit longer. So clearly people agree. So kind of ranking then our best romance, I feel like we're both going to have, well, maybe not. Who knows what you're going to have? I have Eloise Mumford and Kevin McGarry and Villa Amore, like for sure. What do you have?
I wanted to give it to Eric and Javier, but I just didn't see any chemistry with them. Especially like early on, I was like, after I watched, I'm like, oh, they're going to win the couple of the month kind of thing. But then you see Victor and Alison together, and like I'm like, that is just fire. And then I just didn't see them together. So, yep, absolutely have to go with you right there. It's not even close.
Well, favorite character of the month, I'm going to stay with Villa Amore and Liera. What do you have?
I am going to shock you.
Why not?
I was going to go with Liera too, but even though I didn't understand the movie, Rhiannon Fish,
I know,
I
because
just
you
love
love
her.
her. I know.
She, like I say, I thought her and whatever the guy Carlos
She is
is,
someone people either love or hate. You are on the love side. I
I
am
thought she
not.
did for what she was given. I thought she was very, very, very likable. And yes, I admit 100% biased. And Leah, don't part of the also the reason is I knew where you were going, so I figured we had at least couldn't agree on everything.
I mean, hey, I almost picked Ashley Williams' character, but I was like, ah, no.
I
Well,
would,
favorite setting. I feel like any of these movies could win favorite setting. I actually picked Peru just because I didn't want to give it to Villa Amore again. So I picked Peru. Or it could be the island, actually. I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to say the island that Ashley and that guy were on. I don't remember the island. but in the Barcelona movie,
Okay.
that's my setting.
I did go with Peru because Machu Picchu is one of our bucket list places. I also think that they showed you all sorts of different aspects of Peru, and that was kind of fun. You know, it made up for the lack of a story. They just, hey, people won't know what's going on if we just show these beautiful mountain settings and all these things like that. They won't worry about words. Put two beautiful people on screen and beautiful scenery, and don't worry about anything else.
That's funny. All right, well, ranking the four movies. So number four for me was the Machu Picchu proposal.
I had To Barcelona with Love.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. It's because I was angry at that movie because I wanted more from it and it
So
underdelivered
you
for
just
me.
talked bad about two of the other ones. Eric, this even makes sense. You gave the two
Oh, wait,
Barcelona
wait. No,
Forever a two, and then you
that's the one I'm
just
talking about. Sorry.
okay. I was like, your
Barcelona,
rankings make no
Barcelona.
sense.
Why do they make the name sound like, yeah, Barcelona
Oh,
Forever? That one,
okay.
sorry, that was my one. And that's like I say, just because I was angry that it should have been a better movie than it
Okay.
was.
Well, number three for me was To Barcelona Forever.
And I had the Machu Picchu because once again, beautiful scenery. I liked the two leads and I had no expectations, so I was not disappointed.
Number two, To Barcelona with Love.
To Barcelona with Love. Actually, To Barcelona with Love.
And then both of our favorite was Villa Amore with many other people. So,
And I think it's pretty wide split between one and two. And then a big
I mean,
split from two
right
to
now,
three.
Villa Amore, number one for the entire year by a landslide, like not even close to anything for myself. Like that is, and many people also sent me DMs and commented, this is the best movie of the year because they just had such a bad year.
Eloise Mumford often are
She
in
nails
those
it.
like presence of
She is
love.
like Bethany Joy Lenz. Like
Great, great movie.
they really are up here, when it
Yeah.
comes to the Hallmark stars. Well, next week we are going back into Mystery 101. We are going to do an education in murder. So this is the Steve
Steve
basic
Basic.
one, Eric. We are finally watching it.
I know it. Just all the education ones get me all confused. I just give me my Steve Basic.
So we get to dive into that next week. And then we are going to also be reviewing the Rosemary and Thyme season 2. So if you would like to get a head start on those, start watching that season 2 for Rosemary and Thyme. We'll do that towards the end of July as well. And then the Golden Girls book review will be early August. So just so you guys can have all of your stuff out there, because I'm getting DMs about kind of the order of things, because we have one more Mystery 101 since we already reviewed Killer Timing. We'll have the last one to review after. So that is
Family
our plan
history.
for the next month. So
All right,
thank you for tuning in.
I'm gonna go watch Machu Picchu again.
Oh,
See you
I'm going
later.
to go watch Education of Murder.
Bye, Andrea.
Bye.
This podcast was created by fans for fans and is not affiliated with or sponsored by Hallmark or the Hallmark channel.